from LBS is the #2 ranked business school in the world. And I wanted to be like, oh, get your money back. But I was actually in London Business School, so I thought maybe they would throw me out of London Business School. But I actually was awake for, I think, like 29 hours. And so I slept. It's the only time, I think, in the last 10 years I've slept for 30 hours. I was staying at Mimi and Alex Icons. I went back to their house, and I woke up, and it was like night. And I was like, oh, I slept like 8 hours. But it had been like 30. I'd slept to the other night. But the point being, and I was just going, how are you going to get an MBA and you have not one class on social media marketing? Not one. Not one. It's a scam. You should get your money back. But whatever. Anyway. All right, I'm going to go. Okay, $500. Let's go. Who can give me a reason? Is Insta back up?
Yeah.
Insta. Sorry, we died. We forgot to plug you in. Why should I give you $500? 500 in Indian people means 3,500. Ty, you the man, want to get my brother Ed in your... Oh no, that person's not trying to get the money. Will this actually add an extra income source in 24 hours? Yes. Ty, I'm going to 10x the 500. If not, I'm going to give it back. The $500 will go to you and your programs. That's not a bad one, Ty. $500, I'll then spend it on your program. Okay. But I'm not going to pick that one. I need one. Like, come on. Sell me this pen. Sell me this stack. What can I do to help you, brother? Okay, I've seen that line. The problem with it, if you do it too much, it seems like disingenuous. Someone said tax write-off. Ty, give me $500, but that's not why I should give it to you. That's just why I should give it away. Sales skills, trending. Somebody just listed. No. Okay. The discipline you gain from getting a degree is priceless. Bullshit. You get discipline of building your own business. You know what Joel Salatin used to say? People always go, the reason you should go to college is because you learn X, Y, Z, how to think, how to organize your day. As if you didn't go to college, you would be in a vacuum bubble for 4 years. You know what I did for 4 years when all my friends went to college? I went to 50 countries. I mentored under Bill Mollison in Tasmania, Australia. I went to New Zealand and worked under a Harvard MBA that owned 10,000 acres of land and a big food business. I went with Dr. Gordon Hazard in Mississippi, worked from him. He was one of the richest men in all of Mississippi. He lived in almost the richest state in the South, and he was the richest man in the richest state. And he taught me. I would ride around in a pickup truck, help him out with his land. He said, I remember I got in this truck with him. He said, you see all this land as far as you can see with your eyes? I own all of it. And he said, when I wake up in the morning, that land, the sun's shining, the grass is growing, the cows that he owned 2,000 cows, they're all eating grass. I'm a little bit richer. So you see all that land, 2,000 acres, every year I wake up at December 31st and it's appreciated. Every year. I bought this land for $50 an acre. And now it's worth $5,000. And in America, it's tax-free appreciation. And so he told me, Ty, always invest in things that appreciate and don't rush, rot, and depreciate. That's why, by the way, I don't own my Lamborghinis. Because I'm smart. Dr. Gordon Hazard said, don't own stuff. You can lease it because then you get a full tax deduction. So when some people called me out, I was like, I feel bad for you. You just never had a mentor like Dr. Gordon Hazard. So you're too stupid. You think actually owning the Lamborghini. You know what Richard Dennis, one of the richest men in the world before he died, he said, if it flies, floats, or fucks, you should rent it. And on that politically correct note, that was not me. That was Richard Dennis. And he started Maxim Magazine and was worth $500 million before he died. But the point being, that's what I did during my 4 years. And I also went to NC State for one class. Can you clarify
that you're not talking about the flying, floating? That's not what you did. You were doing.
No, I didn't fly, float, and flood. Fuck, leasing it or whatever. But the point is, so yes, this person's argument is very weak. You have very weak logic. You just said that college, you act as if college is the only way to learn discipline. Go in the Army. People learn. Some of the best people I've ever worked with came out of the military. That's free. 4 years, unless you have a philosophical opposition to going in the military. But this is the worst arguments are spread out here in the world. And there's this argument that people who go to college make more money. Well, they did a more exhaustive study, and they make more money after 20 years. That's not a good return on investment. One of my mentors, his name was Kyle Rose. in Virginia, who was Joel Salatin's mentor. He said, here's the simple math, Ty. I'll never forget. I was 19 years old. He said, this is how you value all things. He was a professional investor. He said, listen, if you get your money back in 1 to 3 years, you're an idiot not to invest in it. Invest in it instantly. He said, if it'll take 3 to 7 years, weigh the options and think it through. He said, if it'll take more, like 7 to 20 years, don't do it. Well, so college is a 20-year return for most people. There are some professions that you need a college degree by law, like lawyer, doctor. But don't even get me started on lawyers. You know how to be smarter than a lawyer? Run your own business. How many lawyers we've gone through that are just like, what is wrong with your advice? So bad. You learn from the school hard knocks. At the end of the day, people learn primarily in one way. Not audio, not visual. You learn kinesthetically. That's why I don't do live calls all the time, because this is audio and visual, and it reaches about 30% of people. But I tell people, go start a business. Go door to door. Go knock on doors. That's kinesthetic learning. You learn by doing. And that's why of all my companies, my food business is no offense to my employees that are here, but by far my best experience. I have Amish who work for me, who run one of my farms. Is a 7-figure business. And I have 3 Amish people. David Bontrager is like 30 years old. He's one of the strongest guys I've ever seen. By the way, the other day, there was 3 of us from the city trying to pick up a trailer and hitch it to a truck. So all 3 of us, 3 men, picked it up. The next day, it was unhitched. And I looked out of the corner of my eye, and we had to hitch it up. And David was way off in the corner, and he picked it up with one arm and hitched it together. He didn't even know I was looking. So he's got an 8th grade degree, because the Amish is against their religion to go past 8th grade. And then I have a 70-year-old named Joseph. He said, Ty, I've been married. I said, how many wives have you had? I said, 5. I outlived 5 wives. And the third one is the nephew of David. And by law in Virginia, you can hire underage people if on a farm. There's a farm exemption. So he's 15 years old. He works for me. He dropped out of school in 4th grade because he's dyslexic. So sometimes I've had to have the Amish come on my other farm that's 3 hours away. Here's one of the Amish guys calling me right now. I'm not even going to put him on a live call. So I'll leave the farm with a 15-year-old, multi-million-dollar enterprise. Come back 3 days later. Remember, they don't use phones. He doesn't speak much English. He speaks German. He runs that whole farm. There's not one thing. I don't have any other business that I can leave for 3 days, say nothing. And remember, I have PhDs. I've had work for me, Ivy League. This 15-year-old kid is better than all of them, and he's dyslexic, and I just found out he dropped out in 4th grade. And so I went to David, his uncle. I said, David, this is crazy. I got people coming out of Ivy League schools that I fire for being the absolute stupidest common sense people I've ever been around. Like, I can't even handle. See, when you come to me and work and you show your resume with Ivy League, it's actually a point against you, because then now you're like being cocky. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold you to a standard of a 15-year-old Amish. I fired 2 of them in the last couple years. So this is what David Bontrager told me. He said, Ty, my dad used to tell me, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And you can send a boy to college, but you can't make him think. I heard it. Yeah. The best thing you could do is learn how to think, learn how to sell, learn how to negotiate, learn how to read people, learn how to get people out of your social circle that are exploitative, learn how to bring the good people in, learn how to. I had to convince Alex for this mentor box company to be worth over $50 million. I had to convince Alex, who's very stubborn, to move to Los Angeles. That's sales. I had to convince him. Let's put $100,000 in, and you put $100,000. And then I had to say, stop doing your consulting business, all your other stuff, and focus on this. That's sales. So even in your social life and business, it's about sales. You have to learn how to de-escalate when people are mad at you. Nothing taught about that in schools. You have to learn how to memorize things. How can you make a memory castle? Not one class. All school is how you memorize, then we test you on an exam. Name the class you ever went to that taught you how to build a memory castle so you can remember 100 people's names. I own nightclubs. I built my own mnemonic. I know about 4,000 people's names, and I used astrology. So I would say, okay. I always ask people, when's your birthday? May? Okay, Taurus. I would imagine like a bull on their forehead. Next time I see them, not only can I remember their name, but I'd be like, didn't you just have a birthday? It freaks people out. They're like, How do you know that about me? I'm just like, little mnemonic trick. Did I learn that in school? No. I learned the hypotenuse of a triangle, which I've used exactly 0 times, because when you have money, you just hire engineers. Really. So I hope each of you gets in the practical skill game. And I haven't seen somebody who really knows how to sell. Someone said, may the sun and moon shine for all humanity, grace and forgiveness. You should be a preacher. Come, buddy, I gotta get out of here. Ty, so I can buy dumbbells. Nah, I need a gong. Remember the Gong Show? Okay. Oh, we have a fart soundboard.
Doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work. Can you believe it? Fartsounds.net is no longer working. Ty, if you give me the 500, I will start a Shopify store. Ty, wow, they're starting to come in fast. Ty, I watch you every day. Ty, let's be new best friends. Okay, I will buy books and programs. Ty, let me ask you a question. You want me to be successful in my business, right? Well, let's turn this 500 into 5,000.
Too cheesy.
Teach me how to fish, and I will give that $500 to a homeless person in a city. Great, I'll teach you how to fish, and I'll give you a fish. You don't get the $500. If you give me the $500, I'll go around the United States and sell your brand. Patrick Lucky, my car can get $500 worth of fuel for some night racing. Yes, my main goal in life is to support your illegal racing. So your friends don't kill you for telling another 30-minute story, and I can go invest in myself. Wahid, I think that's the best one. Wahid P. You got to reply in the next 30 seconds on YouTube. So that's actually good. You appealed to my self-interest. I don't want these people mad at me. Killing was a little dramatic, but and then you were honest. So I can go invest in myself. That was good. That had a good opening. The word kill is a great opener. You know, there's only one thing that's a better opening than kill. And that is lab goggles. You want to convince me? I'm going to literally start. Swannies need to be. Hey, these don't have Swannies in them, James. Do you have goggles? I'm going to start selling literally everything. Just be like, we have some VCs flying in. I'm gonna meet them. I'm gonna get full wraparound goggles. Alex, you'll be starting the conversation with them. Here's how the current cap table is. Here's what we consider value. I'm gonna walk in like this and go. But then the kicker is taking them off. James, how dirty are these? I'm gonna run into a wall first. All right, I'll see you guys. TyLopez.com/sales. And I hope you use that $500. Did he give the email address?
Wahid, right?
Wahid P.
Yeah, I got it.
Wahid P. What's his email? So everybody knows it's real.
All right, once.
Wahid said, everyone told me it was rigged. Now he won. That's the best way to turn a hater into a believer.
Everyone told me it was rigged. Who's everyone?
All right. Goodbye. Oh no, I have to end on a high. What's the highest thing I can do, Rick?
Replay the girl sales video?
No, that's horrible. What's a high?
Rickroll everyone.
I know what to do. Okay, right when I say the word $10,000, cut everything. The next person's comment that I read wins $10,000. Cut it real fast so I can't see it. There you go. Everyone's like, ah!